Katrina's Creations. This is episode 47, and I want to welcome our new viewers to our knitting group. We have about 22 new subscribers over the last month. So if you're new to this channel, thanks so much for joining our group, and feel free to chat back and forth. We like to talk. As if you didn't know, I talk a lot. So this has been an exciting week for me. My YouTube numbers have reached over 10,000 views, which was a big goal for me to try. So I'm 11 months into podcasting, so I was really excited by that. So we have a lot to talk about this week. Lots of stuff going on, and we have a field trip on this episode. So I'm going to get started. First off, I will tell you that you can reach me on Ravelry at KatrinasCreations. I will put all the links below. In the description box, if you click on one of those links, it will take you to my pattern page on Ravelry. And if you want to buy any of those patterns, you can use the coupon code KC20, and that gets you 20% off any of the patterns. And with that, you can also, I have had some people ask how to get hold of me, like by email or something. I don't really use my personal email address for YouTube. So, but you can chat with me if you wanted to send me a personal message. You can do it through YouTube, or you can do it on Ravelry. Just send me a message that way. So, and I do check them usually at least once or twice a day. So, yeah, get in touch with me if you want to chat, and or leave comments down below, one of the two. So, and I usually do respond back. I pretty much like 99.9% of the time I respond back. So, yeah, let's get started with I have several finished objects this week. I'm excited. First off, I finished my daughter's shawl. I mean, it is like hot off the blocking press. I have not even wove the ends, and you'll see all the strings hanging here. So if you can get it close, because this is all done in lace weight. So yeah, there's some of the string on the edge that all needs to get wove in yet. I just took it off the blocking wires before I filmed. So there it is in all of its glory. This is the Banner Unfurled, which is one of my patterns. And you can see where I was last week. There's my stitch marker, my little teapot. And this is the widest portion of the shawl. Now, if this pattern were done in the weight that I wrote it in, which is, I think it was a sock or fingering weight, this would be much bigger. But as it is, I'll put it up on myself. You can see it's like a shawlette pattern. The depth on this is probably about 9 inches, but this is lace weight, so that's why it's a little bit smaller. I did double the strands to make it a little bit heavier, so I didn't have to use as tiny needles as what I used when I knit my daughter-in-law's, because that, like you all know, it took me forever, and I didn't want to repeat that. So yeah, this has the pink, there you go, it has little pink button, or not buttons, pink beads in it. And one of my contest participants, when I did this shawl as a knit along a couple months ago, one of my one of the entries was done in the picot binding here. They actually put beads in there, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It was a genius idea, and I started to do it with this because I thought, oh, that would look really cool. But because this is a lace weight and the beads are kind of large, they're 6mm beads, it just would have looked a little, they were so close together, even doing them every other picot bind off, it was just a little too much. So I took them back out. So that's what it looks like. That is the finished one. It's 2 shades of gray, just in case the colors aren't coming up well. It is 2 shades of gray and a baby powdery pink. So there's the whole thing. And I've got one more to make. So far I've made one for my daughter, one for my daughter-in-law. I have one to make for my mother for Christmas. And that's going to be my next one. I'll show you the colors. This is like a chocolate, oh, that's really pretty true to color. It's a chocolate brown. It's got a little bit more golden tones than what is showing in the camera, but it's close. And then this red, and there's this color here, which is more red than it's showing up. It's looking a little orange, but it's actually red. And some goldeny browns. And there's a real dark brown. I thought it was black when I initially looked at it, and so I ordered black beads to go with this. And then when I'm looking at it in the light, I realize it's not black. It's actually a dark, like almost like semi-sweet chocolate. It's that kind of a chocolatey brown. So yeah, I'm not sure that the black is going to work. Although I'll show you what they look like, because I did order some. They fell on the floor. This is the black with them. So I do have some kind of tan color beads. This was a necklace that I made a while back and it fell apart, so I could take it apart and use these kind of little goldeny colored beads that are in here. So that actually I think might go with it a little bit better, but I just have to double the beads up because they're tiny. So that is my next project, is to make this one for my mom. So that is my one finished object. Then I have, you guys could probably guess it right along with me at this point, more dishcloths. Yes, I've been knitting like crazy. I'm so sick of dishcloths. It isn't funny. This will make, I'm working on the 9th dishcloth of the same color. I had 3 skeins. I had 2 skeins of this brown, of the blue, and 1 skein of, it was like a supersized skein of this variegated. So all total, I'm going to get about 9 dishcloths out of it. So these are the 3. Like I said, I've just finished these. They have not even had the ends woven. So, and this pattern is for free in my, if you click on the link below to my patterns, it is a free dishcloth pattern. It's just called mitered lace dishcloth. It's very simple, and yeah, it's very simple. So this one doesn't have any eyelets in it. So that's the 3 I did this week. And lest you think I just keep showing you the same dishcloths, here's the rest of them. So yeah, they're all kind of different versions of the same color. So all total, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the 9th one that I am working on. And that's what it looks like so far. And this is how much of that yarn I've got left. I'm really hoping I have, nope, I just dropped that too. I drop everything on the floor, but anyway, I don't have much of this stuff left. So I'm really hoping I have enough to finish this dishcloth, and then I'll be finished with that blue. But am I done? No, of course not, because when I bought that light blue, I also bought another thing. This is navy blue. So these are going to be solid color, and I'll probably only get like 2 out of it. So it's going to be well stocked in dishcloths. We're not going to run out for any time. I mean, this is going to my daughter and my daughter-in-law for Christmas. We're all not, and I've got a bunch that I did in blue and yellow. So we're not going to be running out anytime soon. So I've got this, and then as if that wasn't enough, my mother, I told you last week, she was going to knit some, and then she changed her mind. So she gave me hers. So yeah, more, sure. But it is good purse knitting. So it like lives in my little bag, and I just take it with me in my pocketbook. And yeah, this I think I'm going to make into washcloths, like for, you know, those spa moments in the tub. I think that's what that's going to be. Because it's in some of my favorite colors. You can't see them real well, but it's in like teal and green and like a pistachio green and blue and kind of seafoamy type of colors. So I am so sick of dishcloths. Really, I'm done with dishcloths, but I've got a few more to make, then I'll be done with dishcloths. So, and you guys are probably saying, please be done with dishcloths. Yeah, we're all getting sick of dishcloths. So that has been my 2 finished objects this week. now I will move on to my works in progress. You saw the other dishcloth that I'm working on. I have been back at my shawl that I'm designing, and I actually remembered this week to make sure I was finished a row so I could actually show you the opened up version of things instead of having it halfway through the row. So last time I showed this to you, I was right here. You can see the stitch marker. I finished that lace. I love this section of this. I really am really happy. I've never written a pattern for lace other than just eyelet lace, and so I'm real happy with this. And yeah, that's more true to color. When I hold it back here, yeah, there we go. That's true to color. In some lights, right there, now you can see it. It looks like it's fluorescent. It's not. There it is. That's true to color. It's kind of a honey color. So there it is. It is going to be a triangular shawl, and the color I'm now in, I think, I'm trying to remember what color this was. The first one is custard. This is semolina. I think this is turmeric. This is Knit Picks yarn, and it is their palette. It's called palette, and it is 100% wool. And this is the yarn I'm in now, and it's kind of an antique gold color, even though again it looks fluorescent-y. See if I can move it. Well, it's not going to show up real well. There we go. That's a little closer. Yeah, it's the 70s color antique gold. That's the color this is. So those are the two together. They actually do match better than what they look like in the pictures. So that's where I'm at with that. And if you have a name you can think of for the shawl, because it has not been named yet, I've had 2 people suggest a name so far. Leave a comment or message me and let me know what name you're thinking of, and whichever name that I happen to, I'm letting you guys name it, so whichever name I happen to pick from the people that give me ideas, they will get a free copy of the pattern when it is released. So I've been working on that, and I've been working on my sweater. Sadly, there is absolutely no way I'm going to finish this before we go on vacation. But I've been watching the temperatures up in New England right now. I wouldn't be getting this out and putting it on anyway, because right now, if the temperatures keep holding, they're like in the mid to upper 70s. So there's no way I'm pulling a wool sweater out to wear this time of the year. So I showed you last week that I had finished the back of the sweater, and I'm going to show it to you again only because I want to show you how the side is going to work together with this. This is a top-down sweater. It is a pattern. The designer's name is Doreen Marquardt, and this is called the Modular Garter Stitch Jacket. I think that's the name of it. So here's the top, and then this is the back. And I guess you could do this as a pullover if you wanted to. You would just make 2 backs to it and not make it a cardigan type. But anyway, as you can see, it has these mitered sections that meet in the center here and then go down straight. So it's really an interesting construction, and it's a lot of fun. I'm having a good time with it. I'm now on the side, the front part. So this would be the front. I'm sorry, not the side, but the front. Now the front of it is the same type of construction. Here is the top, and this would be like on my left side here. So here you can see how it works. Here is the top. This is the side where the button band will go, is right here. And the button band is going to be in this yarn, but I will pick up stitches along the side here. And here you can see the mitering coming across, and it forms this kind of a square here, you know, like a rectangle, and then it continues on down. So this part will all get filled in and will become the front edge of the sweater here. Now this portion here, as you can see, this is with a lighter yarn. You can see right on the edge. This is a provisional cast on. Now what a provisional cast on is where my front of my back of my sweater is, there's actually another piece that is going to go in here. It's like the side where it would go underneath my arm. And you're going to pick up the stitches, but it's a provisional cast on. I guess the easiest way to describe it is stitches that I have just cast on normally. Let's see if I can find, okay, let me show you with this. Okay, stitches that I have cast on and just continue to knit up. These are dead stitches. If I want to pick these stitches up, I have to literally pick up those stitches to start knitting. With a provisional cast on, those stitches, actually my dishcloth patterns, you can see even better. These stitches along the side are considered dead stitches. They are not live. Once I knitted them, they're done with. You know, I start from the bottom and knit my way up. So these are actually dead stitches. If I wanted to add on to this, like with the Cozy Memory Blanket, you are picking up dead stitches along the edge. With this, when I get to this point, and I am going to film this because I have actually never done a mitered edge. I just realized I have a stitch that's dropped right here. I have never done a provisional cast on. I have to get this later, but I've got a stitch that's just going to hang in there. You're going to pick up these stitches. You just slide them in. This is a crochet chain stitch. And if I were to pull this little piece of string right here, it's going to undo just like a chain stitch with crochet. And those stitches, those loops are still there underneath. So as I unravel this, take this chain stitch off, I actually just slide my knitting needle right onto it. So it makes you be able to pick up and start knitting this direction without having to pick up the stitches. So, and it has one on one side and it has the other on the back here. So both of these are going to be picked up to not have a seam basically. So it's going to look smooth. You're not going to have a side seam showing where the side panel is. So it's kind of a clever way of doing it, and I've never done it before. I mean, I understand the process of it and everything. I've just never done it, but I'm thinking it might become part of my repertoire because it sounds like an easy way to do things. Now, I keep looking down because once again I dropped something. You guys are getting so many shots of my scalp today every time I bend over. This is all I have of this cone of yarn left. Now, let me show you what the cone of yarn looked like when I started. Thankfully, I have two of them. This is what the cone of yarn looked like when I started. I've knit a lot. So, yeah, I will have enough to finish the sweater. There's no question there, but, yeah. So I'm excited. The sweater is progressing, but I am not sweating the sweater as I was last week because I was so frantically trying to get it done in time to take it on vacation because there's just no way. I'm not going to get it finished that fast, and temperature-wise, I'm not going to need it anyway. So I will be finishing it so I can use it this winter, but yeah, I'm not under the rush. So I have had time to work on my shawl that I'm designing and things like that this week. Now, a little update about my Knit Crate subscription box. If you watched my episode last week, you saw that I was less than thrilled with what I got. I'm not a super chunky yarn person, and I wasn't real happy with it because all total it was only 160 yards of material or of fiber, and it was like $33.89, which I don't mind paying that for hand-dyed yarn. For hand-dyed yarn and getting 2 skeins of it, it's a good deal. But with this, I just was not really impressed. So I actually canceled that box. However, I subscribed to another one. Turns out Knit Crate has another box. It is called the Knit Crate membership box. and it is only $24.99, so it's like $9 cheaper than the other one. It also includes 2 skeins of yarn, and it includes a pattern for crochet and a pattern for knitting that can be done with the yarn that they have sent you. So I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to give it a try. I think it will start in October. I'm kind of on the waiting list. If one would become available in September, they will send it to me. But if it doesn't, then they will just put me on the waiting list, and in October I will start getting the box. So I'm anxious to give it a try, and we'll see if we like that one better. I did see what last month's Knit Crate membership box was, and it was gorgeous. It looked like maybe it was a fingering or a sock weight yarn, and it was done in different shades of like a dark teal. It was gorgeous. It was like, oh, I'd like to have that, because that really was pretty. That's kind of more what I had in mind when I ordered the Knit Crate boxes, were more independent dyer type of things, or hand dyed. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to give it a shot, and we'll just, I mean, Knit Crate is real good about canceling. If you don't like it, you can stop subscribing at any time. There's no like membership fee or anything like that. So we'll give it a shot and see what we get out of it. Now, we are going to go on a field trip today. There is an alpaca farm down the road from where I live, and they are having a farm fest day. My granddaughter, I think, is demonstrating something there, because she's in the 4-H fiber club. I'm not sure exactly what she's demonstrating. I don't know if it's weaving or what she's doing. I have knit with alpaca before. In fact, this is alpaca. This is Cascade Yarns Alpaca Lace Paints, and it is extremely soft. Alpaca yarn is softer than it kind of feels like a merino superwash. It's extremely soft, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about alpaca fiber. It does not contain, it's almost more like hair than it is like a wool type of thing. It does not contain lanolin. It is hypoallergenic. So with that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about alpacas. Actually, I wanted to learn a little bit myself, because I did contact the lady that owns the farm and ask ahead of time if it would be okay if I filmed. I told her, I said, I have a knitting podcast, and I know my viewers would probably enjoy seeing all these cute little adorable alpacas, but I wanted to get her permission first before I filmed. And she said, sure, no problem at all. So that's exciting. I was hoping she would say yes, because I really wanted to show you their cute little critters. And the farm that I'm going to is called Quarry Critters. And they do have a website. It's Quarry Critters Alpaca. I'll put it down here. QuarryCrittersAlpaca.com. And it's in Littlestown, Pennsylvania. And so I didn't want to go there and look stupid. Well, I can't help looking stupid. I just didn't want to open my mouth and remove all doubt. So I learned a little bit about alpacas before I go. So I'm going to share with you as well. And alpacas are part of the camelid species, which includes camels and llamas, and of course alpacas and vicuñas. And I'll tell you a little bit more about vicuñas in a minute. They look like small llamas, alpacas do. They are smaller. They are domesticated, and they are a breed that originated in South America. There are only 2 types of alpaca. Unlike sheep, where there's all kinds of breeds, there's only actually 2 breeds of alpaca, and that is Surrey and Hurricania. I will put that down there because I know I have totally butchered those 2 names. Now they can be crossbred, and so they have some other names that they go by if they're crossbred, but in their purest form, there's only 2 breeds. They graze in the level highlands of the Andes. I mean, obviously we have them all over the world now, but that's where they originated in South America. They were up in the Andes. They are not used as pack animals because they are fairly little. So like llamas are used for pack animals, camels are used for pack animals, but alpacas and vicuñas are not. They were bred strictly for their fiber. They are considered one of the softest fibers out there. They come in 52 natural colors. I mean, of course you can dye them, like this is obviously dyed, and I knit. If you go back to this past winter, one of my episodes, I made the Shades of Wicklow shawl, and that was knit with baby alpaca. And I've got alpaca fiber around my nose right now. The adult alpaca is only up to their shoulder height. They're only 32 to 39 inches tall. So all total to the top of their head, they're like 4 feet or under. So they're, you know, like the size of a big dog type of thing. I wonder if I could convince my husband that we need one as a pet. I doubt it, but, you know, it's worth a try. I tried that with sheep one time, tried to convince him that a sheep was a pet, and it didn't work. But they're cute. They are adorable, and you'll see when I show you the clips from this. They only weigh 106 to 185 pounds. I wish I could say the same, but oh well. They are, like I said, they are part of the camelid species. And the alpaca and the vicuña are only used for their fiber. They are known for the softness, and because they don't have the lanolin, like I said, they are hypoallergenic. The vicuña is one of the most expensive and rare fibers available. There's another podcaster, her name is Christine Kelly, both spelled with a K, and I'll put her name here. She runs a podcast called U University, U like EWE University, and she does studies of different things with knitting. She did a study on the best type of knitting needles and the gauges and which ones had the best points and connectors, and she's done things on dryer balls, and you know, she's done some actual studies type of thing, comparisons of different things. And one of her episodes a while back was on different types of wool, and she talks about the vicuña. So it's, if you want to learn more, that was a good source to look at. So check that one out if you want to learn more about them. But she showed some vicuña fiber, and I think it's like over $100 an ounce. It is extremely expensive, and it is one of the most the softest that you can get. If an alpaca and a llama, like I said, they can be crossbred, then they are called horizo. Yeah, I think that one I think I got right. They live in family groups, and the alpaca male is like the alpha male. They also are very territorial, and they will attack small predators like fox or skunk or like coyotes, things like that. They will attack them with their front paws because they can kick, and they also spit. And it's not like it's a mixture. When they spit, most of the time it's at another alpaca, but when they spit, it's a mixture of saliva and bile that they bring up from their stomach, I guess. So if they spit and they get it in the eye of the attacker or whatever, it hurts them, I guess. So they also make a braying noise when they attack. And I read an article years ago about some people that were having problems with their chickens getting stolen, and they happened to have an alpaca, and the alpaca started being territorial over the chickens as well as, you know, the property itself, and it was chasing off these coyotes and protecting the chickens. So it was like, you know, an attack of alpaca. So it was interesting. So they also, and this is kind of gross, but they use a communal dung pile. In other words, you know, like cows go all over the field. Apparently the alpacas all go in one place. So at least if you have to clean up the yard, I guess it's all in one spot. It's like a giant kitty litter box. So yeah, I know, too much information, totally too much information. I just thought it was fascinating, so I had to stick it in there, even though it was slightly on the gross side. They make a humming noise when they're content. I guess sort of like a cat purring type of thing. and they make a high-pitched whining noise when they are feeling threatened or scared. The fiber, like I said, is hypoallergenic. It's also flame resistant, which I thought was really, really cool. The shearing off of an alpaca produces roughly 5 to 10 pounds of fiber, and prices for the alpaca animal itself can range up into the thousands. I think they said a male that has been gelded, so he can't reproduce or whatever, they don't command as much money, but some of the ones that are breeders or that are like prize winning ones can command up in the thousands because of the bloodlines, I guess, just like your AKC registered dogs. So anyway, that is what I learned about alpacas. So when I go on a field trip, I won't appear totally, ignorant of what I'm looking at. So I'm excited to see that, and I want to say thank you ahead of time to Julie. That is one of the owners of the Quarry Critters alpaca farm that we are going to go see. And with that, I'm going to insert the video right here, and stay tuned because when we come back, I will be showing acquisitions. Okay, it's going.
you just want me to explain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm needle felting a heart, or at least attempting. I think it's coming out pretty well. And all you do is you have a needle with barbs, a needle felting needle, and rovings like these, and you just put it down on fabric, and you can make any shape you want with it and stuff. Like you can make seams and 3D images and stuff. Anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
There's also wet quilting too, which you can make balls like these with, and it's really cool.
And those are dryer balls?
Grandma, look at it has some over there, but it's you start out with like a little ball, and then you have lots of Dawn dish soap, and you continue like using friction and going around and making a ball. Then
Very
you can
cool.
stuff on it. And still getting back pictures.
I'm going to move in close so I can get a close-up of you doing this. And can you show the needle you're using?
Huh? Did you make that? Use the needle.
Let me put your hand behind it so you can see it real well. There we go. Okay.
Mama, are you going to walk in Alpaca?
No, I think, but I'm going to watch you guys.
So the alpacas, they can kick, right? So you want to watch the back legs, and they can spit, although they probably won't, as long as we're nice to them. They don't like their faces touched, right? So if you're going to pet, you see the only place that I'm petting is up here on his neck. That's about the only place they really care to be touched. And I think Pete's about done with walking right now anyway. So what I might do is actually grab somebody else for you guys if you don't mind hanging out for a little bit longer. He's telling me he's about done walking. Wore out, Pete? Okay. So hang tight for a little bit. And actually, when he gets back, might even walk in.
That's fine. He's tired, just like Mom. We should have that alpaca. Black one. No.
I hope you enjoyed that visit to the Alpaca Ranch. Now I got to show you what I bought because, you know, I couldn't go look at all those cute critters and not come home with something. So I bought a bag of rovings. It is extremely, extremely soft. Much softer than like merino wool or anything else. And it has a luster to it. Can you see kind of there's a... See, you can kind of see it has a sheen to it. That is natural to the alpaca. This is pin drafted alpaca. It's fawn rovings. There's about 4 ounces here. It was very, very reasonably priced. I'm not going to show the price in case it would change. I don't want people to, you know, go by that. But it was very reasonable per ounce. It is extremely fine, and this is what they mean by pin drafted alpaca. It's already pre-drafted for you. There you can really see the luster in the roving itself. When you spin, you normally have rovings. This is wool that I'm going to show you. This is a normal sized roving. It's about the thickness if you took two of your fingers and kind of put them together like that. That's how thick your roving would be. And when you get ready to spin, you actually have to kind of pull it slightly like this. It's called pre-drafting. To make it a little more manageable. In other words, you want to get it down. You want to get it down to the size that this came in. So this is already basically pre-drafted for you. So you can just sit down and start spinning. So I'm excited. That was my acquisition. I'm going to show you once again their business card. Maybe it's right here. Maybe to focus a little bit better. There we go. And the information was on the video as far as where you can find them on their website. And they do online sales, and they also sell alpacas and all kinds of alpaca products. So check them out. And the other acquisition that I got this week, I was at Knit Night, and the lady sitting next to me had this gorgeous yarn, and I already talked about how I like jewel tones. In fact, I'm taking some jewel toned things with me to knit while we're on vacation. I saw this. She was knitting with this and making just a shawl out of it. And I just kind of went, oh, that's really pretty. What is that? So then the two of us went through a hunt through the store because she had bought it a while back. And thankfully she was tall because it was up on a top shelf, and I'm short. I never would have seen it. This is Nordless. It is superwash wool. It is Viking of Norway. But it's kind of funny. I was reading the instructions or the paperwork and stuff on the ball band. Produced for Viking of Norway, made in China. Oh well. But anyway, it is 100%, it's 75% superwash wool, 25 nylon. So it's a 75-25 mix. But look at those colors. Let me turn it around so you can see the purple. And all these pretty colors. I have no clue what I'm going to do with it, but I saw the colors and went, oh yes, it needs to come home and live with me. And it's really soft. Look at the greens. Yeah. See if I can get the green. There you go. You can see the green really well. So that is my acquisitions for this week, and stay tuned next week because I am going to be announcing a giveaway that will be beginning next Saturday. So don't forget to check back, and it's going to be open to everybody. It's international. So yeah, it'll be exciting. We have an exciting next week and week after that coming up. So don't forget to check out next Saturday. Thank you again, once again, to our new viewers. If you are not a subscriber, please remember to check the little red subscribe box below. And if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. See you again next week.